A lot of what you think about money, you didn't actually decide. You inherited it, and it's still shaping every financial move you make. If money sometimes feels strangely loaded, more emotional, more heavy, more charged than the actual numbers would suggest, you're not imagining that. You're not bad at math. You're not irresponsible. You're probably not even the problem. You're running a money script. In the next few minutes, I want to walk through what that actually means, where these scripts come from, why they can quietly run your financial life in the background, and how you can start rewriting them without falling into the trap of pretending that money is all mindset, because it isn't. It isn't purely spreadsheets either. So, what is a money script? A money script is a belief, an assumption, or emotional pattern that you carry about money. And it's usually one you didn't consciously choose. Things like there's never enough, rich people are greedy, if I relax about money, I'll lose it, I'll figure it out when it's a real problem, I don't deserve more than this, money is how I prove I made it. You don't sit down and decide these, you absorb them from family, culture, class background, stress, identity, and lived experience. And once they're in, they don't announce themselves, they just shape your behavior. A money mindset is what you think. A money script is what you believe before you think. That distinction matters. So, where do money scripts come from? Almost every money script has a backstory. Maybe you grew up watching your parents argue about bills after the kids went to bed. Maybe money was secret. Maybe it was unstable. Maybe it was used as control or as proof or as an apology. Maybe we can't afford that was the answer to nearly everything. Maybe don't worry about it was, and you quietly learn that money was something other people handled. Culture plays a role. Class background plays a role. The first time you felt ashamed of what you had or didn't have plays a role. The first time money felt like safety or like a weapon, that plays a role. You don't need a traumatic childhood to have a money script. You just need to be grown up. So, how do old money beliefs shape current financial behavior? Well, here's the part that most people miss. Your money script isn't just a feeling, it's a behavior engine. Some people overspend not because they're reckless, but because spending is something. Some people over control, tracking every dollar, not because they're organized, but because structure feels like safety. Some people avoid, not because they're lazy, but because opening the bank app triggers a stress response. Some people over earn, not because they love the work, but because the sound feels dangerous. Some people under earn, not because they lack ambition, but because success was unsafe at some point. Same money, very different scripts. And here's the twist. You can be in a genuinely safer, healthier financial position today and still be reacting from what version of you wasn't. Why do money triggers feel stronger than the numbers alone? Because money is rarely just money. Somewhere along the way, most of us quietly tied money to bigger things: security, worth, freedom, morality, lovability, proof that we're okay. So when money gets touched, a bill, a raise, a conversation with a partner, a dip in the market, it's not just your finances reacting, it's your identity reacting, your sense of safety reacting, your old story reacting. That's why a $40 charge can ruin an afternoon. That's why a raise can feel weirdly empty. That's why a small setback can feel like a verdict on who you are. Financial anxiety is not always the same thing as financial danger. Sometimes the danger is real. Sometimes the feeling is real and the danger is old. Both deserve respect, but neither should be confused for the other. How do you tell the difference between financial reality and financial scripting? This is the question worth sitting with. Good starting move is to ask yourself, is what I'm feeling right now match what's actually happening in my finances, or am I reacting to something older? Reality is concrete. It shows up in numbers, deadlines, cash flow, obligations. It can be written down. Financial scripting shows up as a tight chest when you open your bank app, a spike of shame after a normal purchase, a conviction that you'll never be okay, even in months where you clearly are, a quiet belief that having more would make you someone worse or someone better. When the feeling is much bigger, you're probably meeting a script, not a spreadsheet. That's a useful thing to know. So, how do you start changing a money script? Slowly and honestly. You don't rewrite a money script with a motivational quote. You rewrite it by doing three things over time. First, you name it. You notice your pattern: avoidance, over control, overspending, shame, scarcity thinking. Naming is not judgment, it's location. Second, you trace it. You ask where it might have come from, not to blame anyone, to understand. Whose voice is this really? When did I first learn to feel this way? What did money mean in the house that I grew up in? And third, you update it. You look at the adult life that you're living and ask a quieter question. What's actually true now? What would a more honest money story sound like? What behavior would match the life I'm actually building? And then, and this part matters, you pair insight with practice, because awareness alone won't save you. Budgeting, saving, earning, investing, planning, these still matter, but they're much easier to do honestly when you're not fighting a ghost while you do them. So here's the part I want you to leave with. Most people aren't bad with money, right? They're acting from beliefs that they never consciously chose. That's not a weakness. It's just human. Your money script was usually the best interpretation you could make with the information you had at the time. It's not your enemy. It's an old draft, and you're allowed to revise it. The goal isn't to make money stop feeling like anything. The goal is to make sure the feelings running the show are the ones that you actually choose.